Hey everyone, what's up? My name's Walter, and we're back here to read some stuff from Reddit once again. Today we're here to talk about nice guys. My folder here is labeled Nice Guys 25, so I guess we've done a lot of this. Anyway, nice guys are those guys who will talk your ear off about how nice they are. They make it their character trait, despite the fact that it's not exactly a character trait. It's also, unfortunately, how they hit on women, by giving them things and making over-the-top gestures. But the guys we're talking about aren't actually nice. They're often manipulative or angry when they're rejected. Anyway, let's begin with Nice Guys from Reddit. Reddit Nice Guy Stories is really inactive right now, so if you have any stories about nice guys, that would be a great place to leave them. But that's where this story hails from. Married coworker is nice to me, hoping it leads to more than just being work friends. It's a little surprising to me that I've made it through almost 30 years without coming across a nice guy, given that I'm usually nice to people, which to many a nice guy means I'm interested. But just last year, one scuttled across my path and decided to try his luck. This story spanned a few months, so it's condensed down as best I could, with just the parts of him being awkward and showing his true colors in detail. This story isn't very funny, just very frustrating because nice guys don't take a hint, even if it's as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face. The married ones are no exception. Let's set the scene a bit. Nice guy and I work at the same office, but on different teams, so we don't have a lot of normal contact. Our groups are near each other, but I didn't really talk with him until that unfortunate day when I happened to smile at him while passing in the hall and made him feel something. His words, not mine, though I'm pretty sure I know what he felt, but I have not ever been a man, so I cannot say for sure. So he decided to make his presence known. Yeah, I guess this is the catch-22 of being a woman. If you don't smile, men might tell you you'd look prettier if you smiled, but if you do smile, this might happen. At first he seemed harmless, just stopping by my desk once in a while, chatting about whatever was on his mind, nothing that came across as weird or creepy. We were about the same age, so again, nothing too weird at first about his attention. We chit-chatted for a few months, exchanged numbers, other work friendship things. He lends me a video game, other than eating lunch together. He was always upset I brought in my lunch rather than eating out so we could go somewhere. This and a few other things started to make me think he might have a thing for me. But no, I was just misreading him. He wasn't hiding his wedding ring and did mention his wife, so he wouldn't think I would be so stupid or terrible as to get involved with him, right? It was one hot August day that he asked if he could tag along on my after-work walk. I was hesitant, but my curiosity was killing me. That feeling he had a thing for me never really went away, and being outside of work might give him the opportunity to make his move so I would know for sure, so I agreed. But we were going to go to a park closer to work that I don't go to normally, rather than the ones I go to closer to home, just in case. Things got a little weird when we were trying to leave. He was just abnormally insistent that he drive me to the park. It didn't make any sense to me because we didn't live anywhere near each other, so why drive me there and then have to drive me back to work so I could go home? He wanted me to listen to some remix, but I didn't want him to leave me at the park because he got butthurt I wasn't interested in him, so I declined as nicely as I could several times before he got the hint. I should have just listened to my gut and canceled the little adventure because this was weirdly controlling. We get to the park and start walking when things started getting real awkward. We did talk about normal things like music likes and video games, and when he found out we have a few things in common, he couldn't believe we hadn't become friends earlier. We were so compatible. But we didn't get far into the walk when he started with some of these odd questions and just statements he was making about me. I hadn't said much because I was rather dumbfounded at some of the things he was telling me, so I will just let you behold these bits of conversation. I don't think you like the outdoors very much. You're into Wicca? Cast any love spells recently? I never thought I'd find a girl with hairy armpits attractive. You've never had a boyfriend? Is it for religious reasons? I actually don't think you actually want to be married. What's with the bucket hats? Have you talked to a doctor about your acne? It looks like adult acne. You should get that looked at. What happened to your windshield? God, I cover dating hell sometimes, and there'll always be shitty dates where the person never shuts up about themselves. But I think I'd rather deal with that than this interrogation. Also, that love spell line was really cringy. The Blazer I had been purchased with a cracked windshield, and coincidentally my dad, being a mechanic, had a donor truck he was going to strip of its windshield because my family is big on reusing what we can, and he missed the point entirely and came back with this. Wow, you're really frugal. You deserve someone to take care of you. What kind of debt are you in, if you don't mind me asking? You want to live alone in the woods? That's terrible. What do you want in a man? I don't think he quite phrased it like that, but I did tell him that I need him to be a good dad, and only needed a man in order to fix my car and cook for me, because I don't know how / like to do that myself. This was mostly a jab at him who didn't know how to cook or fix cars, that I was not interested, and I wasn't going to give him my spiel about how I don't need a man, and don't like how it's phrased that you need someone to complete you. But that I would like a nice husband anywho to do nice cute coupley things. And wouldn't you know it, nice and cute couple things can't be done when you're sneaking around. Poor him. And saying that I only needed a man for labor, this was his response. That's horrible. I guess he's an expert, should have listened to him on that. Of course the author knows this now, but there's no way this guy is going to stop if you try to spare his feelings by saying you want something that's the opposite of him. He'll probably just decide it's easier to change your mind about what you want. And I made a comment complaining about the bugs eating me, something about my blood being too sweet, and this was his response. If I wasn't married, there's a comment I would make. This really stunned me, and I guess he was finally paying attention to me, because this is what he said when he noticed I was uncomfortable. You don't have a lot of male friends, do you? Yes, and they too make sexual comments at me, even though it made me uncomfortable. I just couldn't believe how this conversation was going. Why did he mention my armpits and acne? Other than trying in vain to lower my self-confidence, which was not going to work because if I really cared, I would cover it up or fix it rather than just let it be. And I wish the body hair had been enough to scare him off. The comment he made about me not liking being outside when this was my idea was also just strange. I don't know if he was trying to push his likes on me and he didn't really like being outside but didn't want to say it. Bit of a stereotype, but he is an IT guy and a little doughy around the middle, so maybe he wasn't that into this. There's just a lot I don't understand when it comes to why he would say things like this and just classed it as being awkward. Well, it definitely is awkward. Pretty much how you'd think someone in IT who hasn't flirted in a long time would act. Needless to say, I cut this walk short and left pretty quick because being talked to like some strange creature he's trying to unravel didn't make me too comfortable. He also thought that this little trip was all he needed to be able to claim that he knows me pretty well. So all of the comments below aren't him being ignorant of my personality and stances, he's just ignoring them because it's inconvenient to his goals. I get a text later telling me he had smoked something. I can't quite remember and didn't really care, but it had made him brave. He admitted to liking me since I smiled at him in the hall ages ago. I made him feel something he hadn't felt with his wife in a while. He had actually been drifting away from his wife, was pretty sure she was causing his depression, so he was looking for a friend with benefits for a long while. Would I like to be more than friends? I texted back, no, I do not date married men, period. I will not change my mind. He said he understood and just wanted something different. And I asked, does your wife know you're not happy? He said, well, no. Again, dumbfounded. Rather than try and fix your marriage, your first instinct was to find someone else? If this is your behavior, why would I expect anything different if you dated me? I pushed him to talk with his wife, maybe try to work things out, partly because I thought this woman deserved a chance if she loved her husband to save her marriage, or see for herself if this wasn't working out. And two, to show him that I was completely so absolutely not interested that I am pushing him to go back to his wife. I was also definitely not going to bring up divorce, in case he got the wrong idea. I then texted back asking him not to bring this up again, because again I will not be changing my mind on this. I guess a married guy having a hard-on for you bothers you, huh? Yes, it does. Don't bring it up again. People just don't lose feelings that quick. Which I felt and still feel was just manipulative. We've only known each other for a short while. How attached could you truly be? Also, I said no. Respect me, you're my friend. I sent back, it isn't good to pine for something that's not ever going to happen. He finally relented and promised not to bring it up ever again. Wow, yeah, sounds like he's going to keep that promise, doesn't it? Only 3 weeks later, he tried again. I hadn't really talked to him, and he always reached out to me, but I tried to keep the conversations short and professional to not give him mixed messages. I had hoped he could drop his little crush, especially if I denied him my usual bubbly, kind of flirty responses that probably drew him in. He had texted me asking if I was okay because he saw me not smiling and was worried about me. I had to explain to him that just because I wasn't smiling didn't mean anything was wrong. My resting face just looks concerned/scared, especially without my glasses. He said sorry, I'm just a worrywart. I doubt that. Not sure if he viewed me as his manic pixie dream girl to cheer him up so I'm not allowed to be sad, or if he was just trying to seem like such a caring guy. Unfortunately, he just came off as smothering. He reached out one weekend asking for a second chance. He never had a first, but I just repeated what I told him before. No, you're married. He came back with this. What if I wasn't married? This guy kind of has the problem-solving skills of a child. You tell him it's never going to happen, and all you get is a bunch of what-ifs. Maybe it's just not going to happen? Seriously? I get that the bond, the oath of marriage, doesn't mean anything to him, but means something to me. I'm not too big in the sanctity of marriage. You could be married or not. I don't care, as long as you care about one another and respect one another, are happy, all that good relationship jazz. He's shown he doesn't respect her. His oath means nothing, and his loyalty is seriously lacking. I was rather insulted by the fact that he knew I knew this and still thought I would be okay with it. That I would be okay with hurting his wife. I know how damaging cheating can be, not just to her but myself as well. He also was posting on Facebook about how much he loved his wife, so he was either lying to her or me, but it doesn't matter because he's still a liar. And she visited the office one day, and I heard him mention they were going to fix it so no more kids, which is not something you plan on doing if you're going to leave her. Still no, I would be the reason your family split, and I could never get over that guilt. What if we waited a while after I get divorced? No. What if I was single, skinny, or taller when you met me? LOL. Wouldn't change your garbage personality. He's also not that short, maybe 5'6". I'm just a 5'8" Viking descendant and tower over some men. My opinion on the weight. Fat can be temporary, but the gym and vegetables won't fix a personality. I also hate this nice guy thing where they think it's their looks that prevent them from getting the girl. But nope, just the attitude, which is never considered. I also hate LOL now, thanks. No, I could never be interested in you. Not being mean, just honest. Alright, I just wanted to be sure. I'm just wondering if things could be better and if things would be different. I'm going to have to delete these messages. I don't want my wife to get the wrong idea. Here's the worst part of this conversation. They have 2 kids. One daughter at 4 and a son who just turned 1. The same weekend he was texting me begging for a second chance. Suddenly his wife always wanting him to be home all the time because she works too made a ton of sense. I am still just completely flabbergasted at how low this man could get and how fucking dense he is. We had 0 compatibility. Zip. I have morals, he doesn't. He's a Christian, I'm not, and he knows this. He's an extrovert. His wife is an introvert and a homebody, just like me, and he knows this. I like being single, and I'm definitely not interested in being a married man's hobby, and he knows this. He wants to be single, got married because he was afraid of being alone, and lacks the introspection that all of his problems are his own fault. But we liked some of the same video games and music, so by middle school love logic, we were made to be. And after all that, me crushing every hope and stubbornly clinging to it, if it harm none, do what you will, he still didn't get the hint. I posted the text on here before, but he sent me a message that his spirit was broken because I looked really good, but I don't like him the way he likes me. I didn't really respond at the time, just saying I didn't know how to respond, and he shot back how he knows and how sad he that made him. I was once again so taken aback by his blatant and hurtful manipulation. Honestly, how selfish could one person be? I don't like you, I'm not interested, trying to make me pity you is only going to make me mad. But later, he reached out again via Office IM, and I told him I wasn't interested in talking to him anymore because his text really bothered me and to leave me alone. How long am I on the no talking list? I really want to talk to you. For 2 months he was on my no talking list. Not because he actually respected the boundaries I set and understood that me not answering his messages meant I still was not interested in chatting with him, but because he left to get therapy. He came back and pretended like I hadn't told him I didn't want to talk to him anymore. We were still friends, am I really still mad at him? It's been so long. Hey, did you get my message? Yes. Are you still mad at me? Yes. What did I do? I don't think he fully understood my hatred of him at this point. You told me your spirit was broken because I don't like you like me. I don't remember sending that. I'm sorry. I just glared at him. I was not going to accept this garbage non-apology. What can I do to make it up to you? This is not forgivable. Leave me alone. And he walked off. And again, he did not get the damn hint. After a few days into the work from home thing we were doing at the office, he texted me again. How are you doing? You still mad? I did not answer. A few days later. Hey, so still not talking to me? I'm going to have to spell it out for him, aren't I? No, so leave me alone and do not contact me again. Okay, sorry. I was just wanting to know if you're okay. I didn't know you were still this upset. Again, sorry. And this was his entire problem. He would say something, make a comment I didn't like, either say sorry without meaning it or imply it's somehow my fault. He was just joking, I shouldn't take him so seriously. I knew his toxic and manipulative pattern now, so I spelled it out for him so he could not weasel out of this. I obviously haven't been very clear lately. I don't want to talk to you because I am not interested in being friends with someone who doesn't respect me and can send messages that make me uncomfortable. Goodbye. Peace emoji from him. It's been almost a month and thankfully nothing more from him. I'm surprised he didn't get shitty with me when I rejected him so fully, or at least some groveling that I was really hoping to avoid. Or trying to use his depression as a shield, as he was already using it as an excuse for his behavior. Which my stance is that mental illness may be a reason you treat people poorly, but it's never an excuse. But then again, he would have to tread carefully on how he treated me, as I could easily go down to HR and file a complaint. Which I hadn't done before because I wanted to make sure the complainant was not going to be dismissed. But now, have it in writing that I told him to back off, which I feel will really help my case if it comes to it. I'm also really big into fixing my own problems if there's no immediate threat to myself or others, and don't like pulling others into my private business. I realize now that I probably should have involved people in this private business because secrecy only benefited him. Also because he might be afraid I would tell his wife, which is also part of the plan if he reaches out again. At the time, my old college roommate pointed out she probably wouldn't believe because it was just talk. Given that he also mentioned they were going to marriage counseling and he was in therapy, it didn't feel like the right time. It could have easily been swept under the rug that he just had a moment of weakness. A terrible blonde woman tempted him and he fell for it but was trying to work on it. I bet she knew something not work-related was going on between us since she mentioned deleting his texts, unfriending me from a few socials, and complaining about her checking up on him. But given that he was a liar and manipulative, he probably would spin it so I was the one who started this, since I smiled at him. I also wasn't interested in playing along to trap him and give his wife absolute proof of how terrible he was, because my face is too loud when I'm disgusted and I can never pull it off. So what now? Well, I'm content with shaming him anonymous, like through the internet webs, and I am keeping an eye on his socials in case I see something that I should report to HR. But also ensuring that if he tries this again, I'll be ready to shame non-anonymous. I really like the idea of his church having a sermon about adultery and how it still counts if it's just in the heart, and have the texts he sent me as examples. But I doubt the pastor would want to participate in this shaming revenge, so telling the wife and his friends will have to do. Calling HR wouldn't have been a bad idea, but I agree on the wife thing. I see too many stories where the woman will send proof the husband is hitting on her, and the wife just cannot salvage her pride without taking the husband's side and shaming the woman. Anyway, this story was a lot longer than I thought, and I didn't really have as much to say as normal because the author kept saying it kind of. Hopefully that guy stayed away, but let's be real, he probably found someone else to bother, right? I mean, how many times should you have to say, "This is unforgivable, never talk to me again," before he takes that as a bad sign? Well anyway, let's see how Russell Greer is doing. He's the one I called King of the Nice Guys the other day. Call me petty, but I think if you don't say hi back to somebody who says hi to you, or don't thank a person who holds a door open for you, you're pretty much a dirtbag. Yep, so here I am. Another weekend. Alone. Try to be the best guy I can. Went to the gym today. Jogged 2 miles. Yet still can't snag a woman. They say love takes time, but at the same time, one has to go out and find what they want. Dating apps don't work, because apparently disabilities aren't attractive, yet not so good-looking guys get girls all the time. I don't get it. Always looking in other ways to find somebody. I shouldn't pour my heart out on social media like this, but when my heart is empty, guess there's nothing really to pour out. Yes, Russell, it's not your laughable internet history or your stalking of Taylor Swift that makes women avoid you, it's your disability. This is the guy who was tweeting Disabled Lives Matter out earlier this week for reference. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you have something to say, leave it in the comments, because those help, from what I understand. Also, I read them, at least the ones without too many big words. If you're new here and want more nice guys and related content, consider subscribing. We're trying to hit 10k subscribers once again, and getting kinda close. Thanks also to my awesome patrons. They help me keep saying words like fuck. Thanks so much for the support. I will be making another video real soon here, not sure what on, but I do have some relationships and some Ask Reddit, so we'll see. Have a great day, everyone, and if someone rejects you, you might try taking the L before they completely hate you.